Hello and welcome to Capricorn Venus Tarot. I'm Capricorn Venus, and today we are going to do a video about what makes people fall in love with you. So this is going to be a collaboration video with the lovely Ember Moon Tarot. So doing another collab with her. So thank you so much. I'm going to link that video down in the description box. It's going to be what makes you stand out, and definitely go check that out because I'm going to be watching right alongside with you. So let's go ahead and get into it. Today we've got 4 piles. Each one has a crystal and one of the cards I pulled from my Lisa Frank tarot deck. So number 1, we've got the Jade. Number 2, we've got Smoky Quartz. Number 3, we've got the Orange Calcite. And number 4, we have the Rose Quartz. Okay, so go ahead and pick your pile and I will see you in there. All right, pile 1. Let's start off with you. What makes people fall in love? What makes people fall in love with pile 1? The Hermit. Well, right away, obviously the Hermit is ruled by Virgo. So I think there's something very particular about you, very helpful. You have a very helping energy. So maybe your love language is acts of service. Let's pull some more cards. What makes people fall in love with pile number 1? You're like a guiding light to people. I feel like you really know how to bring people out of a dark place, and you don't do it in a jokey way. Like you're very genuine and you take people's problems seriously. You make people feel very seen, pile 1. I definitely see that. See you being very smart too. What makes people fall in love with pile number 1? You just have a winner vibe to you as well, pile 1. Like, I just see that people want to be on your team because you know how to guide people. You're strong enough to win in a competition, and you're also strong enough to be team leader. I just get a very leader sense from you. I know Hermit is like, you think of, hermiting away, but I also think you stand apart from people. So far with signs, I'm getting Virgo, and I'm also getting fire signs. And then I get the Queen of Wands. Yeah, I'm getting fire signs heavily. So I think another thing that makes people fall in love with you, pile number 1, is that passion that you exude. You have this inner light, I keep seeing that inner light, inner guiding modality. You're really like a person who goes by their own way only. I almost see this black cat as being like that little intuition that is the thing that's pulling you forward, pushing you forward. But again, you're above things. You're really, you stand alone. Why do I keep getting that? With the sunflower, I'm seeing Leo. Let's put one of these. Why do people fall in love with pile number 1? Makes sense with the Virgo energy, you being a workaholic. and yet you're so joyful. And then we've got the sunflower again. So with these sunflowers, I see that you're really a light to people. And it makes sense with the hermit too, because the hermit is carrying around that lantern. And again, there's just something about this light inside you that you bring to everything, which makes people fall in love. I think they can sense that you'll never be down and out because of, it's just your internal compass, which is deciding who's succeeding and who's not. You have a brightness and a depth. You're able to be alone and you're able to lead. Some leaders need the people around them, but you just lead when it is necessary. But if there's no one to lead, you'll go it alone, and you don't really have a problem with that. You don't have a problem with standing out either. You don't have a problem with being the best. I think sometimes too, people can find it cute because you love a good debate and you love a good fight and you love a good competition, and you don't understand when people take it so seriously. Like, you do it for the thrill, for the fun of the work, the fun of the challenge. You know, you really love a challenge, Pal One. And that's a very sexy trait. You know, I love that in someone who loves a challenge and is always willing to do the hard work and takes joy in it, takes pride in their work. Chooses things because of how they feel while they're doing it, rather than what the outcome is. I see that you're a person that's really all about the journey. Like, you really love living life and taking walks, for example, or just doing whatever it is that is your job. You're one to focus on it. You're not one to do something that you have to disassociate to enjoy. And this can really make people fall in love with you because you bring purpose into life. You make your day-to-day very purposeful. Let's get some more about that. Okay, let's see. What makes people fall in love with pile number one? Let me shuffle a little more. We'll see if that comes out again. Just trust me. You do really well with change too. Like, again, it's just like you're not afraid of the journey. You're not afraid from moving on from one thing to the next. But you never do things that you didn't get an intuition to do. So what makes people fall in love with pile number one? Yeah, you have this ability to compete when it's time to compete and team up when it's time to team up. Like, you really are a person people can see themselves building a future with and defeating all your enemies together. And yeah, you can lead during a crisis and you can lead during peace times. You know, you're not someone who craves drama, but you're able to rise above bad situations. You're able to navigate bad situations. It's like you're the ultimate navigator. You can move through any scenario because you've got your intuition on your side, and you don't have these heavy expectations about the outcome of a situation. You're just moving through situations. I'm getting that heavily. People fall in love with you because they know the whole life would be a journey and that you wouldn't be bitter later on. You know, if you didn't get what you want, because I see that you get what you want every day because you do what you want and you do what you like and you do what you enjoy. There's something safer about a person like you, Pile One, who actually knows what they want, because I know for me, sometimes I get afraid. It's like, what if a person is just with me, you know, just wants to be my friend because it's easy in the moment, or because they think they'll get something out of it. So then when they don't get something out of it, they'll turn on me. And you're not like that, Pile One. Like, if you didn't want to be in a room with the person you're in a room with, you simply would not. And there's a safety in that. There's a real safety in that. The people who love you can feel safe that you love them as well, because if you didn't, you just simply, you would not be there. You would not participate in that. Yeah, and again, that's very comforting to people. And you're just able to make moments extremely blissful. You're able to make things, yeah, you're just, I'm imagining go-karting would be really fun. Oh, interesting. So I think also people have fun doing things with you. Everything that you would do with you, pile 1, deepens the love, makes the love stronger. Going to the grocery store, going to the amusement park. It's like everything is a memory. Because you have a very playful, lovely energy. You're type to dance around. Yeah, you really know how to enjoy your moments. Like, you know how to be present. Okay. And on the bottom of the deck, we've got the 8 of Pentacles. So again, there's something about this hard work. It's like, it's very sexy when someone can work towards their goals. And that can easily make you fall in love with someone when they're so passionate about their thing. And again, I'm getting that inner light. Your eyes really light up when you talk about your work. Whatever it is you've chosen that you really love and that you're working towards and that you're doing every day. People love to hear about these passions from you, pile 1. People love to hear the changing notes in your voice when you talk about different accomplishments. People love to hear your rants about whatever it is that you're doing. You're very creative, fiery, passionate, inner light. Let's get some more. What makes people fall in love with pile number 1? Yeah, I think also people feel secure. Again, this is about your loyalty. And we'll get to the Death card in a second, but this is about your loyalty. You really have a sense that you're not quick to leave someone. I think people feel very secure with you. People feel like they can trust you to lead them. They can trust you to not cheat on them. They can trust you to maintain your interest in them, and to be able to turn down things that are not to the highest good of the relationship. They see you as somebody who would put your relationship first and who really loves the people that are in their life and prioritizes them. And 2 4s as well. Wow. Yeah, there's an amazing stability and yet fun, lighthearted energy to you. And it makes sense with the sunflower. The sunflower is really your flower here, pile 1, because it does have that bright, fun, loving energy. But if you've seen a sunflower in person, or a sunflower field in person, these are strong. They're like mini trees. They're very large plants, very thick stems. It's a durable kind of flower, you know, as durable as a flower can get kind of thing. Yeah, there's something really high reaching about you too. So people know that you guys could be like a power couple, you know, or it's exciting to see where you will go, pile 1, because yeah, that's where the Death comes in, and then 5 here also represents change. It's exciting to think about where you're gonna go, where you might lead this relationship, or where you lead yourself, and so your partner is obviously gonna get to come along to some extent for that. So I think people fall in love with you because of the journey of being with you. And I think these people that fall in love with you, they're with you for a while before they fall in love. So they get to see all these things, and it's like this gradual process where they just fully integrate into your life and you fully integrate into theirs. And it's this beautiful thing where you guys are ride or die. I really see like you, pile 1, as like being a ride or die kind of person. Okay. And I definitely could see fire signs, water signs, but then we've also got hermit. So that's earth, workaholic, you know, reminds me of Capricorn, another earth. We got a lot of them besides not a lot of air, but These are just energies, so you definitely could be an air sign, but okay. What makes people fall in love with pile number 1? Anything that I missed? Makes people fall in love with pile number 1. Queen of Wands and Queen of Cups. Wow, pile 1. Yeah, that's the thing. You really emotionally take care of the people that you love. I think you look out for people's emotional well-being. And again, it's with this leadership vibe. It's like being with you is safe because you understand people and you're fun. You're not dragging everything down by always talking about things that are serious. But when it's time to have a serious conversation, you're able to do that. And you bring a lot of inner insight to your relationships. A lot of insight. Discernment. You have an amazing capacity for discernment. Peace, stability, passion, fun, competition. You know, you're that perfect like enemies to lovers situation where it's at first somebody thinks you're very stern. And then they get to know you and you're actually extremely fun. High Priestess. Yeah, we just can't downplay this Hermit, inner light, inner wisdom, intuition, trustworthiness. Yeah, I would want you to, I would want to have you on my team, first of all, because you've got this amazing intuition, this amazing work ethic, this drive for your own needs. And when someone can fight for their own needs, that puts a lot more trust in them that they would fight for your needs too as a partner. But then with Queen of Wands, you've got this like sexiness, fun, flirty, back and forth. You give them the full journey, you know, you get the whole love story. Okay. Very interesting. So let's pull, let's leave this one out. This one back. And now let's pull some music videos for you. What makes pile 1? What makes people fall in love with pile number 1? I'm actually going to take, this is from the middle of the deck. What makes people fall in love with pile number 1? What makes people fall in love with pile number 1? Makes people fall in love with pile number 1 and what makes people fall in love with pile number 1? Okay. Okay, so now we'll start here with Eat Me. So this is like that inner light thing, that inner guidance and constantly changing, growing. Like you know when to be antagonistic and when to fight against what other people want for you in order to gain your best goals. This is kind of what I was saying. Like you really know how to prioritize your own needs and you don't go down someone else's path. You only go down your own path. And so sometimes that means you have to fight back. And then other times you can be in your more laid back star energy, you know, not having to get down and dirty kind of thing. Like, and then drunk face, like you really know how to have fun. You know how to be young still. It's like you can fight the system and go out and get drunk. You know, like you really know how to do both. And with Tamara too, it's that constantly moving forward energy we were talking about. Like you really know how to be optimistic. You know how to reach for the heights with you and your partner. You know how to make, also with Tamara too, I'm seeing like, you know how to be this person where it's you two against the world. You know how to make it feel like it's just the two of you and you're Bonnie and Clyde and, you know, yeah, again, it's like that ride or die energy. And with Drunk Face, we've got what is it? Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox are in that video. So it's like this power couple thing too. And you can have whatever opinion you want about those two, but that's just kind of what I'm getting from that. And a lot of these have like parties, big groups of people, not this one, but big groups of people. So you know how to, yeah, again, it's like what I was saying at the very beginning, which is like you can lead, you can entertain large groups, you can be this like fun-loving, life of the party kind of person. And then you can also stand up for yourself when necessary. Very cool. Okay, well, I'm going to link these down below. Thank you so much for watching Pile 1. Now, definitely go over and check out Ember Moon Tarot's video about what makes you stand out. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Definitely like the video, subscribe, leave me a comment about what resonated. And yeah, I hope to see you again soon. All right. Pile number 2 with the smoky quartz. So already, pile number 2, I would say you're very grounding. I think that's something that makes people fall in love with you, is like you really bring people into reality somehow. We'll see how, but that's kind of what I'm getting with you. Pile 2. Strength. Yeah, you definitely have a firm foot on the ground. Like you understand things. And that's just what I'm getting intuitively. That's not necessarily the meaning of the Strength card, but okay, let's pull some more cards. I'm getting some stuff, but I want to pull some more cards. Okay, what makes people fall in love with pile number 2? What makes people fall in love? Wasn't my best. Let's see what makes people fall in love with pile number 2. What makes people fall in love? Pile number 2. Pile number 2, you're a mover and a shaker. You're a doer. I think people fall in love with you because you're an action taker. You have a complex personality, pile number 2. Okay, let's see. What makes people fall in love with pile number 2? Look at how they're all looking at us. You really see through people. And I think with this Knight of Cups, people get wooed by you. You're kind of a swoon-worthy person. Like, you make people sit and daydream when maybe they aren't normally daydreamers. And you see how there's like that dichotomy, because I find you to be this really grounding person, and yet maybe you take people who are really disillusioned by life. And they weren't dreaming and they weren't doing anything practical. They were just kind of floating along, not really awake to what was going on. It's like you splash them with some water, you know, like splashing some cold water in somebody's face to wake them up. It's like that's what your eye contact does to people. And they just go, oh, someone's awake and watching me. Interesting pile two. Okay, let's keep going. What makes people fall in love with pile number two? Yeah, it's like nothing false can stick around while you're here, pile number two. I think that's what I mean by, like, you make people aware of reality somehow. Interesting. You wake people up from sleeping. You come from this like really strong position as well somehow. It's like people can look at you and they realize right away that you've got something figured out. Let's see, pile two. What makes people fall in love? Pile two. 4, 4. So yeah, there's this stability. There's this psychological understanding you seem to have about people too. And you're always, see how they have a hand in the water all the time? It's like, you've got your finger on the pulse. And if you don't know what that expression means, it's like, you know what's going to happen before it happens almost. It's like you're very up on the trends. You're very up on what's happening. You just seem to know so much about reality. And emotional reality too. I mean, it's not just, yeah, you're very complex because you've got this emotional understanding which cuts through people's bullshit. And you've got this practical charm as well, which, yeah, it's again, I'm just getting this sense that you reinvigorate people, you wake people up. Okay, let's see. What makes people fall in love with pile number two? Queen of Cups again. I would say, you know what else though? Pile number two, you're very like, your gaze is extremely intimidating. You really sort through the weaklings right away. And I would say some people can't handle your energy because you shove people, you know, like energetically, it's like you're going around shoving everybody. That is it's a funny energy you have, pile two. People feel like intimidated and they kind of want to avoid your gaze, but then at the same time, they kind of feel like they're watching something they shouldn't be seeing, you know? Like you're someone that shouldn't exist almost, because you just seem to, I don't know, you're like out of the matrix is the phrase I just heard. Maybe that's something you say. Let's see. What makes people fall in love with pile number two? What makes people fall in love with pile number two? Okay, so you've got this vast ability for partnership, this amazing intuitive connection to people. You work well with people. Again, intuitively understand them, psychologically advanced. Maybe you are interested in those kind of like different personality tests or astrology to analyze people, but you have some sort of expert way that's specific to you, that you know how to analyze people. And so people feel extremely seen by you. They feel stirred into action by you. They feel like you guys are in a perfect partnership. They feel lured in by you, your charm, you know, and then at the same time, they come to find out that you're a little, you're like this with everyone. I think that's what makes people fall in love with you, is like, it's you who's the star. It's not necessarily that you guys have this amazing connection. It's more that you are an amazing person, pal, too. You nourish others, but it takes a really special person to be able to nourish you. Yeah, and I think people do get kind of obsessed with you. Very obsessed with you, actually, I'm going to say. You have an energy that kind of encourages that because you're very intense. 10 of Wands. There's this kind of crazed, speedy passion that happens. You see how it goes from the Knight of Cups to the Four of Wands? It's like marriage right away, you know? People just want to kind of jump the gun with you a bit. What makes people fall in love? What makes people fall in love with pile number 2? What am I missing? What makes people fall in love with pile number 2? Pile number 2. Yeah, that's so, yeah. With Smother, it's like, I think this is what leads people to this kind of crux with you. It's almost like they feel like you've encircled them, like they feel almost engulfed by you. And yet this is the most alive they've ever felt. It's like they almost feel trapped in your energy, but they're staying there on purpose. They're getting built up by you is another thing. Lots of 6s, so you could definitely have Virgo. I'm also getting a lot of Leo with the Strength here. And then definitely water signs with you having the Queen of Cups. Extremely creative. Let's do this. Let's put some of these away. Get some more information. What makes people fall in love with pile number 2? What makes people fall in love? Pile number 2. What makes people fall in love? Yeah, I just keep getting these matrix kind of things where it's like you make regular life seem like a dream and you are so dreamlike that you make everything else seem boring. I don't know, because you're waking people up and you're making them see reality, but at the same time it feels very dreamy. What makes people fall in love with pile number 2? Strength again. Five of Pentacles. People who felt drought don't with you, pile number 2. People who have felt left out, unseen, misunderstood, cast away by society, they find strength through you because you're a very special person and you see them. So it heals their wounds. It heals their sense of rejection, abandonment, and you make them feel seen, you give them the strength to kind of have fun again, be alive again, to give themselves permission to just be a person and enjoy having a body. I think that's what I was kind of saying with you're more about reality. Not reality as in like society. I think you cast away society and you show people the lies that they've been living under. But you show them how to exist in real reality, which is where you have, your body and your mind, and you're able to go on a walk, and you're able to go swim in the ocean, and you're able to experience things that make you feel present. You're able to experience like happiness in your body. Does that make sense? Pile 2, I think if this is your pile, hopefully that does make sense. It's like people fall in love with you because you teach them how to be alive again. Because you saw them, you woke them up, and you taught them to have fun. And they can still follow their responsibilities. They can still be strong in the world, but they need to reframe how they're looking at things. And you give them that little validation, since you're such a person of high value and you see right into their soul, they feel like they don't have to hide in order to get positive results in the real world. How are you going to get the Queen of Cups the third time? Strength twice and the Queen of Cups twice. 3 times. You're really an amazing person, Pile 2. And you have this this nurturing energy. Again, it's like you really build people up. I would say if we just boiled it all down to one thing, Pile 2, I think people fall in love with you because you build people up. You make people achieve their potential. There is something in you that is an amazing partner because you really know how to cultivate your partner. Yeah, you're just someone that people can feel like they can open up to, that you're safe. You're a safe person to open up to. You're a safe person to cry to show the worst parts. That's a really helpful trait in a partner, is not someone who only wants you at your best, but instead who sees your faults and doesn't want you to sit in your faults, doesn't want you to be your worst self, but is accepting of that worst self or that low moment. You're very non-judgmental, Pile 2. And yet you ask people to go to a higher standard, but you're not judgmental of them for not being there yet. Makes people fall in love with Pile 2. Let's do this one. We've gotten so many 4s, so definitely Cancer could be a thing. And you know how to build a home too. Like, you have a familial sense to you. Sometimes romantic partners, sometimes people's romantic partners are just romantic partners and they're not. It's difficult for them to bridge that family gap, But for you, it's almost like it goes straight to family. You might have a lot of friends that feel like family to you. You just have an innate sense of how to bring about closeness. And even with all this emotional awareness and building other people up, you also know how to run your life. Yeah, and then there's this passion about you too. You can't let things linger. I think you're that kind of person that is not going to be able to go to bed angry because you're going to talk about it for sure. You're going to talk about it before you go to sleep. No question. And again, that's like a very comforting thing. Because people don't have to worry about you holding resentments because you'll just get it out with them. You'll just have it out with them. And there's also a little bit of passion in that, right? With the Queen of Cups so many times, I mean, yeah, you have a lot of passion. Strength twice. You're very alive, very vivacious. And you know how to find the cracks in things and tear down the foundation so that you can build something strong. Like, you know how to get to the heart of people's problems. Like, they will meet you, and pretty soon they'll be changing things up to have a better outcome. You know how to heal things. You really know how to heal things. And again, it's this non-judgment I keep getting in my mind. It's like, you know how to heal things, but you don't chastise people for not being healed. You're just trying to be helpful. It's not that you dislike unhealed people and so you must fix everyone around you. Not at all. And people don't feel judged by you, and people don't feel hurried to fix their problems. They feel supported. They feel nursed. You have like a real nurse quality to you, pal, too. Yeah. And the judgment in reverse. But then also, there's just the seeming peace that you provide others because you have it within yourself. Okay. Two. Yeah. All right. Let's pull some music videos for you. Very fun. Okay, Pal 2. What makes people fall in love with Pal 2? Yeah, I'm gonna take this one for sure. Ready for it? Because yeah, that's the thing. It's like you really have this intensity to you. You have this intensity to you. Being in a relationship with you is you're going on a journey. You're going on a trip. You're gonna be different by the time you come out of this. This is a whole young adult novel. Being in love with you, Pal 2. Okay, what makes people fall in love with Pal 2? Yeah, you're like that person that the main character falls in love with, who shows them what the real world, you know, the hidden conspiracy behind the world or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. What makes people fall in love with Pal 2? Let's see. What makes people fall in love with Pal 2? Okay, I guess I'll keep shuffling. It's hard to shuffle when you're not looking. What makes people fall in love with Pal 2? Okay, well, we'll start with the easy one, which is just, okay, this is very sexy. With you having so many Queen of Cups, I think that completely makes sense that there's just something inherently sensual about you. The water signs are the most sensual, if you ask me. And like sexy though, not earthy, but more like, yeah, porn star dancing. That makes sense to me. You just have a sex appeal to you. And ready for it? Taylor Swift is very hot in this too. There's just like a sexy, flirty, fun, like looking into their eyes, and they have that flirty, fun, playful, sexy eye contact thing going on. Then also, you're like very supportive of the people around you. The title might lead you to believe something else, but it's basically she drives around in her car picking up girls, and it's like a song about girls supporting other girls and not just assuming that people are trying to hate. And that's the thing with you. It's like you love to build people up. That's your favorite activity, is you're always building people up. And I think that's your friends, that's your partner, that's your family, and does anyone you're close with, you're going to be building them up. Yeah, and encouraging them in their goals and making them think more positively. And then with him and I, it's exactly what I was talking about, which is just like being with you is like a romance novel, because it's so intense, it's so passionate, it's interlocking of two people. It's yeah, it's that water sign thing that we all love, you know. So definitely watch all these videos. I'm going to link them down below. But yeah, I think that's all we have for you, Pal 2. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. definitely like the video. Leave me a comment about what resonated. I always love reading the comments. It's my favorite thing. So definitely do that. And then go over and watch Ember Moon's video. I'm really excited. It's going to be what makes you stand out. So yeah, I'll link that down below, and I will see you next time. Alrighty. Pile number 3. Let's see. What makes people fall in love with pile number 3? Well, first of all, I would say you're extremely fun. You're extremely fun, extremely fresh. With this particular Wheel of Fortune, I'm kind of getting a little tongue-tied, so interesting. But yeah, with this particular Wheel of Fortune, I like to think of it as like, look at the teamwork. It's almost like a thief movie, you know, or a heist movie, I mean, where each person has their own role, and they all work together, and it's like a buddy comedy, but with a big group. So I think you, pile 3, one of the reasons that people fall in love with you is you're so fun to have in a group. Like, you have your own distinct personality, and you love to play your role, and you're really good at working with a team. And probably people that are your friends or people at work, those are the people that fall in love with you, because they get this amazing dynamic of working with you. And with you getting 3 as well, I mean, that's like the 3 of Pentacles, collaboration, the 3 of Cups, parties and things like that. Like, you're just really great in a group setting. You're really the life of the party, I'm seeing, pile 3. Wheel of Fortune can be kind of devil-may-care, like anything, you know, whatever happens will happen. And I think I'm also getting that with the orange calcite here. It's like, you're really open. You're really open. You're really fun. Very much Sagittarius, fire sign energy, Aries from you. Forever young, because you're always looking for a challenge. Interesting. Okay, let's get some more cards. What makes pile 3? What makes people fall in love with pile 3? What makes, okay. What makes people, yeah, you have a very much of a spontaneous, oh, and we got the Emperor, so definitely Aries. Ace of Wands. Okay, so pile 3. I mean, we can't deny your sexual allure here. With the Aries and the Ace of Wands, I mean, yeah. You have, and this is what I'm saying, maybe it is true that a lot of people at work or in friend groups have fallen in love with you because there's just something very inherently sexual about you. Forcefully sexual. It's like they can't turn away from it. Huh. Let's see, what makes people fall in love? Gosh. You're so spontaneous. So spontaneous. Being with you is just so fun. It's a freaking roller coaster. It's a freaking movie every time. And yet people know about your sad backstory. People know about all the things that you've had to go through, and yet you're still this passionate, adventurous, in control, powerful presence, extremely powerful presence. Again, I just keep getting this heist movie thing. So whatever role you're at, it's like you almost come across as this really lighthearted person, but then people know your backstory and it's very dark and you had to do a lot of things. Maybe you had to be alone from a very young age. I know a lot of Aries are always looking towards getting their parents' approval, but often they have to go it alone and they have to do a lot of things by themselves and they have to make their way through life and struggle through life, you know? So maybe you have that sort of story and people, you know, that's a good reason to fall in love with someone. Someone's kind of, you're seeing them on their rags to riches journey and you're cheering them on. And I think people want to root for you. People do root for you, pile 3. And it doesn't hurt that you're hot. Let's see, what makes people fall in love with pile number 3? The Star and the Emperor. Yeah, it's like people love to watch you. People love to watch you. You're great in groups and you're great alone. But you really like people. And I think people love that about you too. It's like you're that kind of tough person that everyone knows has a heart of gold. And you use your passion to cut through any confusion. It's like sometimes you have so many options and you're confused about which direction to go. And so you just go. You just do. You do, and despite confusion. Yeah, there's just a lot of sexual energy with you as well, pile 3. Like, definitely a lot of sexual energy with you. People are very tempted by you. You're very cool too. I would say you have a very cool aesthetic. You're the star of groups. You'd be a great person to have on your arm, basically, too. I think people fall in love with you because you are the star. You're the star, you're the emperor. Meaning you catch eyes and you take charge. Oh, really fun character, pile 3. Yeah, I just keep getting this like stern character, but very sexy. Like maybe you dress really alternatively too. You could dress in all black. You don't have to, but I'm just getting that for somebody. You definitely have an alternative style in some way. People want to strip away the armor. They want to get underneath. You're a challenge to people too, pile 3. I think that's very alluring, and that's what makes people fall in love, is they just get addicted to uncovering these layers of you. Okay. Let's see. Goodness, what makes people fall in love with pile number 3? Yeah, there's a sense of a wounded warrior to you. I will say, pile 3. I keep getting that with you. It's like people fall in love with this woundedness too, because they feel like they can protect you, they can save you. You're such a powerful character, and so the fact that you have these little weaknesses, like that you're afraid sometimes, and that you need comfort sometimes, and these are ways that people feel closer to you. Pile 3. So definitely don't take it as a negative, because it's really a positive. You're able to reach people on that intimate level because you've gone through some stuff and you have your wounds, and there's some way that your partner can feel needed by you. Like they can serve a role in your life. What makes people fall in love with pile 3? What makes people fall in love with pile 3? Oh. Yeah, and then you have this independent nature with the Emperor, and now no one is yours but you. Yeah, you've had to do a lot on your own, and yet you love having company. You love having people to work with. But I think that's part of your wounding, is just like you've had to do a lot of things by yourself. So people have to really get you to trust them. Can't be caught. Yeah, you're definitely a prize, pile 3. Okay, I think I need to pull a few more cards just to get a better sense, because I think we're close, but... Okay, what makes people fall in love with pile number 3? People fall in love with pile number 3. People fall in love. You take unusual routes. You look critically at each situation and you find your way out. You're a very strategic person. Yeah, again, I think that thief movie, the heist movie, is going to be just your kind of theme of this reading, which is what makes people fall in love with you is you're this whole character with this whole big backstory, and you're so beautiful. You're so, so beautiful, pile 3. You're not boring, and you're not like everyone else. And you got a reason to be the way you are. And you got a strategy in the way you move through the world. And you got a big heart. It's like, we're taught with movies that everybody's gonna be kind of gray with a big heart, but then when you come to meet real people, a lot of people are just bad. And so we get a little bit jaded. But you, pile 3, you actually are the kind of morally gray person with this secret heart of gold. You really are that person. And so it's easy to love you, pile 3. It's very easy to love you because people can get invested in you. You're safe to get invested with. Because even though you got the jagged edges, and even though you seem to sometimes get into shit, you mean well, you mean really well, and you have a huge heart, and you're just trying your best, and you're doing really well. You're doing really, really well. So people love to cheer you on and just be a part of it. Okay, awesome. Love that. Yeah, and then you're definitely very sexually alluring as well. Very sexually alluring, very passionate, very open to trying new things, getting out there. You're never stagnant because you're always going on a new heist. Whatever strategic thing you got to do next. So let's pull some music videos for you. Let's see. What makes people fall in love with pile number 3? You might have a harsh tongue as well. You know how to get your way. And you're not a person with one most important time in your life. Like, you're constantly reinventing yourself. Every time that someone meets you, they're meeting you in a very eventful time in your life. Okay. Pile 3. What makes people fall in love with pile 3? What makes people fall in love with pile 3? Let's see. This one. Go with this one. Fall in love with pile 3. Okay, well, with Glad He's Gone, it's her walking through all these places. It's a huge, long journey. So I kind of think this really makes sense. It's like you're someone who really cares about your friends, and you'd go the distance. You'd take the journey to help one of them out. And it's so deep to you, you know? You're not a casual person. Same with We Found Love. This is kind of like you go through these kind of maybe toxic, intense relationships. But it's just because you're following your intuition, and you have your wounds, and you guys' wounds interact with each other, and you guys learn along the way. Like, another thing that I think makes people fall in love is that you feel like you're on the same playing field. You know, some people are so much better than thou and like weird about things, but you, pile 3, I see you as a person who you have your wounds. You know, the other person you're with has their wounds, friend or relationship, and you know, you guys work through that stuff together. But sometimes there are issues, you know, and then sometimes there are breakthroughs, and that's just how things are. And yeah, you could definitely have people cry over you. Be the one that got away. And you might pull on people's heartstrings, you know? Like, you're not perfect, Pile 3. And I think, you know, when it gets to the, what's that trope? I keep seeing this all over TikTok where it's like, I hate the trope where there's a Act 3 miscommunication or something. But I think whenever I see those, I just kind of laugh, because I think those Act 3 miscommunications happen in books and movies, because that seems to really happen in real life with people. It's like, sometimes miscommunication really does cause issues, and it's not something real, but it is instead our traumas, you know, fighting it out with each other, and there can be some miscommunication because of that. But yeah, okay, well, thank you very much, Pile 3. I really appreciate you watching the reading, and definitely go check out Ember Moon Tarot's video. It's going to be What Makes You Stand Out, so that's going to be really fun. I'll link it down below. I'm going to link these music videos as well, and I hope to see you again. Definitely subscribe, like the video, comment what resonated. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a great day. Okay. All right, Pile 4. Let's do this thing. Let's see. What makes people fall in love with pile number 4? Pile number 4, High Priestess and the Rose Quartz. So I'm definitely getting some unconditional love vibes from you, Pile 4. I think you show people things that they've never seen, you know? I think you're probably a very esoteric kind of person. And you have some sort of, you have like a very hypnotizing quality to you. I think one of the piles I was like, you probably have a lot of people that were your friends that become your love interests. But I think for you, Pile 4, you kind of come across as like a loner type that somebody would get a crush on from afar. People fall in love with you kind of first, and then once they've crossed those intimacy boundaries with you, then they become friends with you. Interesting. Okay. All right. Gotcha. Let's see. What makes people fall in love with pile number 4? People fall in love with pile number 4. People can just tell that you're different too. Again, from afar. Yeah. You very much don't need anyone. You very much don't need anyone. And you're very encouraging of others and yet distant. There's this distance to you. Okay, what makes people fall in love? This mysticalness too. What makes people fall in love with pile number 4? It's funny because I'm seeing like the hair is very shiny or glittery. It's almost like you have a sheen to you or something. It's like, I don't know, maybe you literally wear glitter in your hair or something like that. Could be. But also maybe your hair is just naturally very shiny. But it gives you like a fairy-like quality. Yeah, I'm getting heavy mystical vibes from you. I think what makes people fall in love with you is this otherworldliness that you have. You're like another being, different kind of being than the people that fall in love with you. You have this naivete and yet knowing. You know, in the Fifth Element, the girl in the Fifth Element, and I don't remember her name, but she just drops out of nowhere, and she like has this super knowledge about her culture or whatever. It's been a while since I watched the movie, but she's some sort of alien or something like that, super, I don't know, made in a lab. I can't remember exactly, but she's different, she's other, and she knows about this other different thing, these secret symbols and things, but she doesn't know, for example, how to drive a car. So there's this naivete, like Born Sexy Yesterday is the trope or whatever, is there's something very sexual and different about you, alien to you, Pile 4. And then also naive about you. There's a youthfulness. Like someone could teach you the ways of the world, but you would teach them the ways of the universe or something. Interesting. Okay. Why do people fall in love with pile number 4? People fall in love with pile number 4. Yeah, it's like you really offer something. You might have darker skin. People love your skin. It's another mystical being. And another off the shoulder. So you might have beautiful shoulders. You show just enough vulnerability with people. And again, it's like this naive thing that you've got going. And you're not interested by the things that most people are interested in. And people can sense your difference. There's just something so different about you. And you've gone through a lot of different kinds of hurts. Let's keep going. What makes people fall in love with pile number 4? People fall in love. Makes people fall in love. Yeah, there's so much confusion about you. You're so different. You're so intuitive. You're so in tune to something that these people that are falling in love with you, they don't understand. But they can sense your specialness. They can sense this alienness to you. You know, and they're very intrigued by it. I think everyone who meets you is very entranced, intrigued, confused. But it's not normal. It's definitely there's something mystical happening. There's magic afoot with you, pile 4. What makes people fall in love is like they feel like they're in on something that they would be stupid to miss out on. If an alien shows up at your door, you're not going to be like, try next door. You're going to jump on that ride. You're going to see what happens next. You're going to feel very invested, and you're going to feel closer to that person quicker than you would if they were your same species. Obviously, I'm just using metaphors here, but I think you get what I mean. It's just like your specialness draws people in, and it intensifies your relationships right away because people have not met anyone like you before. Okay, what makes people fall in love with pile number 4? Yeah, you seem to have this innate knowledge of karmic cycles, of, this is a general reading, so you could have this knowledge of a lot of different things. It could be, there's so many niche subjects in the world, but I think people can sense that you have a above perspective. You know, you have this perspective that time is meaningless or something like that for sure, which makes you have this hanged man energy of seeing everything different. There's something about your philosophy on the world, or the way you were raised, or just your innate beliefs or something like that, that makes you look at the world completely differently. Every single part of the world you're looking at differently than these people that are falling in love with you. So people who fall in love with your creative ideas, people who fall in love with your way of seeing the world, people who fall in love with your idea of the world, and along with this naivete thing, I think when you come into people's lives, pile 4, their hope is refreshed because they're able to see their lives differently. Maybe they were feeling really down and out by the way they were perceiving their life's events. And since you look at things so differently, you're able to come in and sweep that old way away. You know, you bring the tide in of new ideas, of new beliefs. And again, I'm getting this sense that it's like when people meet you, they don't wait the prescribed length of time before they fall in love with you. I think you might get a lot of people who fall in love with you very quickly, very, very quickly, like within a week or something. Maybe not that quickly, but maybe people in your circles usually think that 2 months is the appropriate time to fall in love, or they think 3 years is the appropriate time to get married, but you tend to go on a much quicker timeline than that. Or at least the people that are interested in you want to go on a much quicker timeline than that. So let's see what makes, and maybe they're not used to feeling like that. I am getting the sense that these people, they latch onto you because what they feel with you is very, very unique. It's like, did I know you in a past life, or what's going on here? Okay, what makes people fall in love with? Yeah, there's very much this uncanny valley feeling with you, power. So people have no choice but to either, maybe you've gotten negative reactions, but then the other way is that they want to latch on because they feel like they have no choice. They've got to see. Yeah. Again, it's like this, people just are like, okay, well, I'm meant to be with this person. The Lovers. Yeah, they feel like meeting you was divinely guided, and that it makes them fall in love with you so much quicker because they just feel like they're trusting fate at this point. Okay, so that's mostly what I'm getting for you, Pile 4. Let me pull some music videos for you. Okay, what makes people fall in love with pile number 4? A whole new world. Makes people fall in love with pile number 4. You know what's funny is both of these music videos have somebody like kind of breaking the fourth wall. So again, I just get this sense that you like break the fourth wall of life. Like, you just cut through the bullshit and you do things you're not supposed to do. And you make connections where you're not supposed to make connections. And you just do you do things in the way you do them. And you're not really asking for permission. You're very mystical. I mean, Janae Aiko is just extremely mystical kind of person, so I could see you being like that. And where she is in this music video is like on the edge of a cave with water splashing up. There's just something out of place. Again, what I'm getting with this is like, there's something about you that's very out of place. And people just lock into that right away. I want to pull actually more. You're getting more than other people. What makes people fall in love with pile number 4? What makes people fall in love with pile number 4? They can just see that life isn't always so normal. No way. Oh my gosh. So in the beginning of this music video, he falls from the sky like an alien. So I don't know how much more. Oh, triggered again. You really trigger people. This is an easy thing for me to say, but I think one of the reasons that people fall in love with you is that they get really triggered by you. They feel more intensely than they've ever felt before. And again, this is like a magical thing. There's just something very magical about you. Pile 4. Definitely watch these music videos. I'm going to leave them down below, and you can get some more messages in there for sure. But there's some uncanny valley shit happening when people fall in love with you. And what makes people fall in love with you is like they feel everything was fated. It's like so many weird coincidences happen, things that they don't understand, things that they can't explain, and they're all attributing it to, well, it must be that we're meant to be, that we're fated to be. you know? They just feel like life would be magic with you because things would be so different. And you're just so special. Okay, well, I'm gonna link these down below, and then definitely go watch Ember Moon's video called What Makes You Stand Out. It's gonna be really fun. I'm looking forward to reading or listening to my pile. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Definitely leave a comment about if this resonated for you. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you again, okay? Bye.